country, and that the wealth should not remain in the hands of a few at the expense of the many. The Book of Esther is famously one of only 2 books in the Hebrew Bible in which God's name is not mentioned. God is not mentioned in the Book of Esther, but God is with us in this place today as we allow ourselves to feel the pain of what is unfolding, as we join as a people of many faiths and many backgrounds, and as we speak out, even when speaking out demands great courage. May we be imbued with the spirit of Queen Esther. May we move with her courage, her eloquence, and her strength. And may the most merciful on high give us patience and keep us bonded together in solidarity as we continue to walk together on the long road towards justice. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. If we work the most effective way to ensure good wages for all Wisconsin families, benefits for our families, and a safe workplace, Scott Walker and the Koch brothers wouldn't have invested untold millions attacking us. Yeah. This so-called right-to-work legislation is a sham. It's not about rights. It's not about freedom. And frankly, it's not about unions. It's about money. It's about their desire to pay you and everyone else in Wisconsin less of it. It's up to us to stand for a better future. We owe it to our children to do better. When I leave here, I'll be heading home with one goal in mind, and that's organizing. I'm going to be talking to everyone in my community, whether they're a union member, someone at church, or at the school PTA. I'll be talking to them. I'll be asking them, like I'm asking you, to stand up with me for a Wisconsin that values its workers, stand up with me for a Wisconsin that pays fair wages, and stand with me for a better future!
Instead of helping working families, the so-called leaders in this legislature can only get excited about taking away our rights and lowering our standard of living. It's wrong for all working families. It's wrong for Wisconsin. And in the long run, they're finally going to figure out that they were wrong when we send them packing. It may take a few years, it may take more, but we won't forget. We're in this for the long haul. Yes. Are you with me?
Yes. We, the middle class, young and old, are the driving force of our local economy.
Hell yeah! Yes.
We earn the money here, we spend the money here.
Yes.
Yes. Teachers are not in it for the fat checks.
No way. No.
Just a fair living wage with benefits.
Yes. Dignity.
They do it because they want to educate our youth, giving them the opportunities for their own futures. Public money belongs in public schools with local school board oversight.
Yes.
They are making cuts to senior care, not accepting Medicaid money, and now making cuts to the UW system.
They are dismantling Wisconsin.
We must, and I mean we must, get out and vote.
Unions built this middle class, and we are not going to forget it. We're here because a society that works for billionaires and leaves everyone else behind is not with the generations of Americans who worked and struggled and died before us. We know that right to work is wrong for all Wisconsin families. It's wrong for union families, and it's wrong for non-union families. It is wrong for all workers across the state of Wisconsin. And we know that Republicans inside this building who are ramming this right to work bill at rapid speed are reckless and they are cowards.
for this past week, I got mad, I got angry, and I got frustrated. But now, I'm just plain pissed off. That's what I am. You know, last week I sat through these hearings with the Senate, the Assembly, gave some testimony, for hours and hours testimony. All I heard was why this bill is bad. Heard a few things on why right to work will be great for this state. We heard why it was bad. Everybody from Wisconsin talked about it. And I asked everybody, why is this bill here? I think we know why this bill is here, because it's not coming from Wisconsin, it's coming from all these groups that are bringing that in here, all this right-wing money. It's not for Wisconsin.
We organize for the things that we know every worker needs and wants. Nothing is like dignity on your job. Nothing is like being respected for the work that you do.
Right.
We are those professionals that have built this country. This Capitol that we stand on the steps of was crafted by stone masons from a small island in Italy. They are the only ones that do that work. Trust me when I tell you, we have built this nation. Yes. My forefathers, those African slaves that came to this country, built this country. Yeah. Your forefathers, those immigrants, no matter who they were, came to this country and built this country. Yes, we built the middle class and this country. Yeah. Right now, we stand before a Capitol whose majority still has some of those roots, but they seemingly have forgotten where they came from. They seemingly have forgotten who put them in office. And if we don't remind them every opportunity we get on who got them where they are, who pays the wages that they sit and occupy, who pays their daily per diem when they wander back and forth from their homes, we pay. We the taxpayers of the state of Wisconsin. We the citizens of all of these places. We do. This is our house. It is time that we acted like it was our house. I watched hours and hours of testimony. I watched it for the Senate Labor Committee. I watched it for the Representative Labor Committee. Not one time did I hear anyone really having any exchange that even implied that they were hearing all of the citizens that came before them to talk to them. Unless, excuse me, it was one of those paid-for voices. Paid-for voices. We right now have one of the best bought and paid Republican governors. Assembly people that money can buy. Now we can't touch the money, but you know what? We got a vote, and we got a voice, and that gummit, the next time we ask you to vote, I hope you remember this cold day, because it'll be a cold day somewhere else if you don't. Now is the time, my brothers and sisters, right now. So when we're done, and we pay our respects to each other, please do what Stephanie said. Occupy that gallery. Make sure you stand as long as you can. We need to hear what they're going to say. And if you can't, stream it. Watch it. And for God's sake, don't ever forget it. Solidarity, my brothers.
Free assembly, expressing your views, talking about your issues, trying to find some way to help people up, not suppress their rights. That's the Wisconsin way. That's how democracy is supposed to work.
You have an appointment? Well, we asked for an appointment. Okay. Yeah. We're here.
Yeah, we attempted to set one up last week.
Okay.
We saw somebody come out.
We're here because we want to talk to them about the right to work and what they're going to do instead of driving down wages, instead of taking away workers' voice, actually treat workers. They're an important part of Wisconsin.
Okay.
Why we're here. Because in Scott Walker's Wisconsin, what we see is a few things. We see the Wisconsin manufacturers, the Koch brothers, the politicians, all having one thing in common about Walker's Wisconsin, and that is lower wages, take away workers' voices, take away workers' rights, and that's what the right to work is all about. Am I right? Right. All right, let Walker hear you that you want him out here. Come on, let's hear it. Come on, Walker!
Right to work is
Now, let's understand that this is more than just about workers. This is about education. This is about democracy. This is about turning his back on immigrants. This is about all these things, and we want answers, and we want them today. I give you Boyd.
Tired of waiting.
Ashby.
Well, a lot of people on this day are asking, how could this happen? The real question is, why is this happening? How could we be living in a Wisconsin where this governor, Governor Scott Walker, steals money from the elderly, defunds our elementary and high schools, defunds university education, transfers the largest amounts of wealth from working class folks into the hands of the 1% in broad daylight? How could this happen? Well, let me tell you something, sisters and brothers, as a public employee, the only way this could happen was if Act 10 happened. The only way Scott Walker could steal and rob and cheat the citizens of this state was if he iced out the eyes and ears, the 175,000 eyes and ears of public service. Public employees are the voice of people. They are the ones who keep the public trust. They are the ones that make sure that efficient services are delivered every day. When you silence those people, as they did with Act 10, temporarily, then the looting can begin. And what we are experiencing today, sisters and brothers, is nothing short of old-fashioned looting. Yes. He's stealing our resources, he's stealing our economy, he's stealing our dignity, he has taken large chunks of our democracy, and now he's trying to silence people, other working folks, through the right to work laws. Quick question for the group. Does anybody know which group created right to work laws? Alex. No. The KKK. Americans for Prosperity. Does anybody know what year right to work laws were started, roughly? 1947. Earlier than that. They began in the 1920s. They were created by the Ku Klux Klan. Right? Here's what right to work really means. As a white man, I have the right to work without having to be side by side with a person of color. They were created to maintain segregation in the workplace. The Southern economy knew that in order to maintain the social order of the South, they had to bring industry to the South, but they couldn't let black workers and white workers begin to work together on the shop floor and demonstrate power and solidarity.
Why not?
Because that would undermine the entire Southern economy. Some would argue the American economy now, right? Right to work laws were created by the original Libertarian Party and the Ku Klux Klan to keep the workplace segregated. If you go to the South today and you go to any unionized shop in the South, the union now is usually either the black workers union or the white workers union or the women's union or the men's union. It's rarely real solidarity and cross ethnicity solidarity. Because that's the intent of right to work. It's to divide us. And if you think about all of the policies that Scott Walker has been implementing in this state, they're all, as he likes to say, divide and conquer. Right to work is no different. Right to work will neuter, in many respects, the unions, the organizations that workers have to try to keep the boss honest. They will neuter them. They'll make it much harder to operate. And of course, that's the whole idea. So this is just another step in the looting of this state. And we should think of it in no other way. And we should look at it in the same way we look at Act 10. We should look at it in the same way we look at the tax breaks for the wealthy, the increased taxes on seniors, all the awful things this man has done. So what we'd like to do is have him come out here, because maybe we're wrong. Maybe I'm being cynical. He should come out here and explain really what this is about. I don't know.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
So give him the benefit of the doubt.
So we're going to stay here, and we want to have some of the partners Because again, this is more than just workers, more than just students. It's about our fellow communities. And people who see this firsthand are the people of faith. So let me bring up Sister Maureen. Please welcome her.
If one of us suffers, all of us suffer. We are all Lazarus. That is, we know that. And evolving human consciousness is revealing that more and more. We are all intimately connected to each other. So we must be in solidarity for the good of all.
Where is Walker? 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 All right. Where is Walker?
Now, somebody said at the hearing this morning that they actually had run into Governor Walker here today. Now, we haven't seen him. He's probably, if he is here, talking to the Koch brothers on the phone, as usual. Or maybe getting orders from the WMC, as usual.
Zombie twin.
Or running around the country pretending that everything is great in Wisconsin. And one of our determinations is to say, it's not great. Walker's Wisconsin doesn't work. It doesn't work for working people. It doesn't work for people in our communities. It won't work for this country. Let that word go out. That's right. And one person who's spreading that word that I know Governor Walker is afraid to talk to, afraid of the logic and the knowledge about working people, is Randy Bryce, leader of the Ironworkers.
I'm not a terrorist. It only hurt when I inhaled. We have between 800 and 900 brothers and sisters that work, that build Wisconsin. They are not terrorists either. The terror that's going on in Wisconsin are the hundreds of thousands of people wondering how long they can provide for their families. That's right. There shouldn't be a choice between, do I pay the rent or do I take Johnny to the doctor? That's right. That's no way to live. That is not freedom.
No, it's not.
Right.
That's what Scott Walker wants to bring to the entire United States.
Yeah. Never gonna happen.
What we need to do is get the message out. What he's doing to Wisconsin, he wants to take this terror to the rest of the country. He started this war. He dropped the bomb.
Yep, that's right.
Meanwhile, we continue building. Everything that he said privately has come out publicly. This isn't a surprise to anybody. We know what he's done. We know what he's capable of. After this attack, who's next? Who's going to be left for him to attack? He just gave a raise to gentlemen like the guys behind me. You wonder why he offered to pay them more while he's taking from us?
He needs us.
Well, I don't blame them. I'm sure they're nice guys. They look like nice guys.
Travel schedule. I travel.
I don't have a problem only with what kind of legislation they're trying to pass. I have a problem with how they're trying to pass it.
Right.
I was off of work for a couple of months. Got called back the Monday, after all this was announced. So I took off the first Tuesday. It was a 10-hour shift. We make a little over $30 an hour to come to be heard. Well, Senator Nass got wind that there was going to be a peaceful sit-in. He made it sound like it was another terrorist attack. And there again, they go trying to point us like we're the bad guys for just wanting to be heard. Turns out all that was going on was going to be a peaceful sit-in with the demand that everybody else like me that took off of work get a chance to be heard. Is that a crime really to want to be heard?
No.
It is now.
It is now. It is now.
Take it back.
So I said, I'm so pissed off. I'm coming back again tomorrow.
That's right.
That's right. What's going on, it has nothing to do with wages increasing, at least not ours, not the people that are here right now. That guy from that little sawed-off run from WMC, maybe somebody's wages will be going up. But it's people like his wages that are going up, and I guarantee you it's going to be at your expense.
That's right.
I don't know how much more they can take from us. I really don't. And I've said when Walker got in office, they won't stop until we have dirt floors. These banana Republicans have got to go. I've had enough. I have had enough. And I spent time in Honduras in the mid-'80s in a genuine banana republic. I know what a banana republic looks like. I know what a banana republic feels like. Right now, right here, is a banana republic.
That's right, Randy. That's right.
In Honduras, the government was kissing up to corporate interests. Wow. They didn't care about people. Banana republics usually have a one main export. Wisconsin's export is jobs. You know, Senator Fitzgerald made it very clear that this is not about benefiting anybody, although that's a side effect of what's going to happen. Senator Fitzgerald, on the week that it first announced, we had Americans for Prosperity open up an office that was dedicated to passing this wage theft bill. And let's not call it right to work anymore, please. There's no rights involved. And as far as work, you're going to have to work twice as much to make what you once did. Senator Fitzgerald, okay, we had Americans for Prosperity opening up their office. The next day, Representative Capenga talked about, wow, this is so important, we really got to get this done. The Thursday after that, you heard Senator Fitzgerald talking about how important it is that it gets done through the Senate. He talked about exempting the people that supported Republicans. Well, if it's so great, I'm all for giving them twice as much as anybody else gets. We had people that, contributed, billing trades that contributed to Scott Walker. And I tried getting them to stand with us when Act 10 went on. Believe me, I tried. I was told I wasn't politically savvy at the time. Look at them now. Look at them now. If they don't feel like an ass, they sure should. But I know their business reps won't look me in the eye when there's a rally going on.
Where are they now? Are they here?
No, I don't see anybody.
They've been operating.
No, and and I know they feel bad. I do, and I know they've done all that they can to try to do something to fix this. But you look back, and the whole problem stems from lack of standing together at the beginning. Because if you stand together, there's nothing that can break people down. Nothing. They can only fill up. And they can fill jails up only so far. Lord knows we're building more and more and taking away monies from schools. But
You're paying less and less because it's temp workers.
But and if they want to throw me in jail for speaking my mind and for doing something peaceful, I already told every state trooper that I walked next to, there's a lot of angry people, but one thing I can guarantee you is that anything that happens is not going to bring any harm to people, and it's not going to cause any damage to any property.
We will never settle for Walker's Wisconsin. Never, never, never. That message is that we will never give up. And that message is certainly that we will never, ever be silenced. That's why we're here. That's why we're going to get comfortable. That's why we want to see Scott Walker actually have the nerve to come out and tell us what he has to say.
Yeah.
Where is Walker?
Where is Walker?
Where is Walker? Where is Walker? Where is Walker? Where is Walker? Where is Walker? Where is Walker?
I came because I told my mother, I said, why did you all put up with that in Mississippi? She said, because we couldn't say anything. And I was 6 and I told her, I said, I'm going to say something. If that ever happens, I also came to bear witness. I want to look at these legislators in the eye and see. I want to get a look inside of their soul as to why you could do things to people that won't profit you anything. It doesn't bring any jobs into the state. It doesn't do anything. And so I just want to see the type of people that will do something like that. And so that's why I stand here with you today and solidarity.
This is ultimately a fight about power.
Yes.
That's what Walker is about. If you look at his budget, that's what most of the budget is concentrating power in his hands and in the hands of the 1% or the 1/10 of 1%. That's what it's about. And Wisconsin is not isolated. This is not something that is only happening here. It's happening all over the country. And if we're not careful, if we don't organize to fight back, we're going to find that the entire country has gone the same way that Wisconsin is going right now. So faced with this power grab and this attention to this attempt to concentrate power within the right wing and within among right-wing politicians, what is our answer? The only thing that we can do to fight back is to organize.
Yes.
And that means we organize at the work site in order to make sure that to the best of our ability, right to work does not undermine wages and working conditions and pensions and everything else. We can do that. We can organize at the work site, but we also have to organize more places of work. We have to organize in the community. We have to organize politically. That's the only thing that we can do. It's the only way that ultimately we can win. And I think if we stick together, if we do organize, we can win.
We have over 10,000 postcards that have come in. We know this governor doesn't give a damn about working people or what we have to say, but we refuse to allow him to create two Americas. One for the 1% and one for everybody else. But folks, I want to say something right now from this moment forward, as Peter pointed out. We can no longer be the victim. We can no longer stand around and wag our fingers and wring our hands and say, why is he being so mean? These people want to take everything. So let's take this moment as an opportunity to start a new movement.